The Wasteland is undoubtedly one of T.S. Eliot's most popular and best poems. It is written in the modernist style and it speaks about the physical and spiritual deterioration of society after the First World War. Although the poem is pessimistic by and large, some faint glimmers of hope can be seen at the end. It consists of 5 sections and includes a plethora of quotes from and paraphrases of a number of literary works and ancient myths. Eliot also draws on some religious texts from the Christian and Eastern traditions. For example, the 3rd section, named the Fire Sermon, clearly alludes to the Buddhist sermon of the same name. What we are going to focus on in this short talk, however, is the source of the story that forms the crux of the 5th section of the poem, named What the Thunder Said. In this last part of the Wasteland, Eliot gives us his rendition of a story from one of the 10 principal Upanishads, and that is the Brihad-aranyaka Upanishad of the Shukla Yajurveda. I will not dwell on Eliot's portrayal of this story because you can easily find it and read it on your own. Instead, I am going to read the translation of that part of the Brihad-aranyaka Upanishad and explain its meaning. I will also read the original Sanskrit text at the end of this video so that you can listen to it should you wish to do so. The story of the thunder saying 3 words beginning with the syllable da is from the 5th chapter of this Upanishad, and it consists of 3 prose passages which form the 2nd section of this chapter. Just so you know, this story is by no means a central part of this Upanishad, because it only deals with certain aspects of Dharma, which can be loosely translated in this context as virtuous behavior. The main topic of the Upanishads is the nature of Brahman, the absolute truth. Contrary to what the Advaitins, that is, followers of Shankara, say, Brahman is not just some eternal, formless light that is all-pervasive and all that exists. Rather, Brahman is none other than the Supreme Lord who is eternally situated in his spiritual kingdom, but who is also omnipresent through the agency of his energies. Moreover, he is also personally present as the Supersoul, that is in Sanskrit Paramatma, in the hearts of all living entities, and every nook and cranny of the material world, including the atoms. Anyway, without further ado, let's begin. Moving on to the translation of the text itself, before I begin reading, I just need to explain the meaning of 2 terms. Prajapati is the name of Brahma, who is the secondary creator of the material world, and Brahmacharya is celibate or student life, during which young boys and men practice celibacy, then study the scriptures seriously, and perform various kinds of austerities and vows. So, Prajapati's sons, devatas, demons, and humans, practiced brahmacharya with their father. Having completed their brahmacharya, the devatas said, "Dear sir, please teach us." He pronounced the syllable da to them. Have you understood? He said. They said, you told us to control ourselves. Prajapati said, yes, you have understood. Then the humans said to him, please teach us, sir. He pronounced the syllable da. Have you understood? We have understood. You told us to give. Prajapati said, yes, you have understood. Then the demons said, sir, please teach us. Prajapati pronounced the syllable da. Have you understood? Yes, we have understood. Then a divine voice as thunder repeated the words da da da. Control, give, and be merciful. One should learn these three: control, charity, and mercy. That is the end of this section. So now I will explain two more terms. The words devas or devatas and asuras can be loosely translated as godly and demonic beings, respectively. That is the first way of interpreting these words. Or descriptively as subservient gods who act under the direction of the Supreme Lord, and demons who are opposed to them and the Lord. Now, all three instructions that Brahma imparted to devas, humans, and asuras, namely Damyata, control yourselves, Datta, give to others, and Dayadvam, be merciful or compassionate, are actually meant for all three classes of higher living beings, and humans in general, but Brahma gave one particular instruction to each group, because that was the area in which they were particularly deficient. Devas are inclined to overindulge in heavenly pleasures, though they possess numerous good qualities, and they are sometimes also too proud of their elevated position. Consequently, Brahma advised them to practice self-control, or Dhamma. Human beings, on the other hand, are often greedy and stingy. Therefore, Brahma advised them to give charity, dana. Lastly, asuras are by nature very cruel to others. As a result, they were ordered to show mercy and compassion for others, daya in Sanskrit. As I said, these three types of persons are also present in human society, and they should especially try to develop the quality that corresponds to their nature, but they should work on the other two as well. Thus, that is the meaning of the words Damyata, Datta, and Dayadvam, which are in the second person of the imperative mood, as you might have assumed. I have found an excellent paper entitled Why Sanskrit Words in the Wasteland by Nageswara Rao, in which, among other things, you can find an explanation of Eliot's use of the aforementioned three words. I will put the link in the description of the video. Here are some pertinent points from that paper. Eliot used 6 proper Sanskrit words in this poem: Ganga, Himalant, Damyata, Datta, Dayadvam, and Shanti. If we were to substitute the words in different languages, including Sanskrit, which Eliot used in the wasteland, the rich associations inherent in the words of the original sources would be lost, and its structure would be damaged. The syllable da has different meanings for different groups of people. Each group intuitively interprets it as a hint at their inherent shortcoming and a call to act in such a way as to overcome it. As Rao puts it, only a full awareness or inherent drawbacks can liberate the inhabitants of the wasteland from their living death. Rao states of the Shanti mantra. Shanti mantra is refers to various kinds of mantras that occur at the end of individual chapters from the Upanishads and other Vedic texts, and also at the end of those texts. And those mantras end with 3 repetitions of the word Shanti, which literally means peace. So Rao states, this benediction of peace reflects a state of mind attained after a complete resolution of all disturbances, anxieties, and doubts. Shanti mantra occurs at the end of Vedic passages, and it signifies a state of complete peace. A possible reason why Shanti is repeated 3 times is that it indicates freedom from 3 kinds of disturbance, and those are sufferings due to our mind and body, which are called adhyatmika, suffering inflicted by other living beings, adhibhautika, and natural disturbances, adhidaivika. Thus, the word Shanti is used to evoke Shantarasa, which roughly means a feeling of tranquility as well as auspiciousness. And now, as I promised, I'm going to read the original Sanskrit text itself. This is in prose, so it is not as beautiful as Sanskrit poetry, but anyway. Traya prajapatya prajapatau pitare brahmacharyam ushur deva manushya asura ushitva brahmacharyam deva uchur bravitu no bhavaniti tebhyo haitadaksharam da iti vyagnyasishta iti vyagnyasishmeti hochur damyateti na atetyo hovacha vyagnyasishteti atahainam manushya uchur bravitu no bhavaniti tebhyo haitadeva vacha da iti vyagnyasishta iti vyagnyasishmeti hochur datteti na atetyo hovacha vyagnyasishteti atahainam asura uchur bravitu no bhavaniti tebhyo haitadeva vacha da iti vyagnyasishta iti vyagnyasishmeti hochur dayadvamiti na atetyo hovacha vyagnyasishteti tadetadeva isha daivivag anuvadati stanayitnur dadada iti damyatadatta dayadvamiti tadetatrayam shikshe damam danam dayamiti. This is the end of the text. I hope that you enjoyed listening to this short talk.